Schools on lockdown.
It was terrifying, honestly.
How police say an argument between two drivers prompted it and sent one of the cars crashing into this apartment building.
The deadline to sign up for Affordable Care Act coverage is January 15th. We know health insurance can be confusing and costly. Well, not with these folks. Call right now. The phone lines are open. Sunny and cold today as we look live from the WRAL tower cam showing the sunset. You can't tell how cold it is out there, but boy, we're going to see more clouds and more something. We don't know what yet falling from the sky.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Gerald Owens along with Deborah Morgan. Mike, it has been over 1,000 days since we've seen measurable snow at RDU International, and that could be changing.
Yeah, I think the drought's going to come to an end now. A lot of you already have seen your snow. You got it up in Vance County last night, Franklin County, Nash County. But here at RDU, or over at RDU, we haven't seen snow since January 29th of 2022. That's when we've had the last measurable snow, but I believe that's going to change as we head into Friday. Already winter storm watches are being issued for parts of the plains, Arkansas, northern Louisiana, northern Mississippi, and this is likely to extend into North Carolina. So at some point, we will have a winter storm watch and likely a winter storm warning if what we're seeing goes as planned. 5 o'clock Thursday afternoon, there's the storm system evolving. By the time we get to Friday morning, we're seeing the clouds increasing. The European model doesn't bring any light snow into the area until the evening hours. The American model actually brings it in during the afternoon. The light blue is light snow. The dark blue is heavier snow. And we probably will see some of that as we get into the overnight Friday into Saturday time period. It's a mix of sleet and snow at 5 a.m. and then quickly as temperatures warm up, it'll transition, I should say, over into some rain as we go through the morning, and then in the afternoon it's done. We're going to see who could see an inch of snow by the European ensemble probabilities. That's coming up in less than 15 minutes.
All right, Mike, thank you. We'll see you then. You can always watch WRAL News Plus for any live coverage with weather updates every 10 minutes. It is available over the air on Channel 34 or Spectrum Channel 1257.
Should your child be allowed to use their phone at school? There's a debate going on right now about that.
WRAL's Eric Miller is following it for us from the White County School headquarters in Cary. What's the talk, Eric?
Well, Gerald, listening into this debate this evening, it's clear board members aren't interested in a total and complete ban on cell phones on campus, and at the same time, don't want things to stay the way they are right now, with principals at individual schools setting rules for their specific buildings. We've also heard anecdotal stories from parents, with many parents supportive of restrictions on cell phones, but also wanting to have a way to communicate with their students often throughout the day. Obviously, this is a lot to take in, a lot to balance, and it's not going to be easy as the district tries to craft this policy.
For Wake County School Board members, it's a topic with some buzz. When, where, and how students should be able to use their cell phones at school.
It's a very challenging issue, and I think what the board is grappling with is how to balance consistency across the district and also understanding that there are going to have to be decisions made at a local level, at the school level as well.
Mike Martin is an educational consultant with RTI, which is helping the district craft the new policy. He says one of the biggest challenges in locking down rules for cell phone use in Wake County schools is the sheer size of the district. 199 individual schools with more than 166,000 students.
And so there are going to be a lot of different iterations, and as we said in the presentation, schools are already doing this.
Martin will spend the next 3 months helping the board collect feedback from students, parents, and faculty, and will be looking around the country to see what's worked in other districts.
I don't think there's necessarily one model. I think this is complicated, and a lot of districts are learning as they go.
And one of the other concerns we heard from board members here this evening is they want to make sure that really everybody in this district does get a chance to weigh in, not just folks from one specific area, one specific school. They're looking for a really broad set of opinions here. The board hopes to have this set of rules in hand by either March or April of this year and hopes to have them in place by the start of the next school year. In Cary, Eric Miller, WRAL News.
3 Carrboro schools were put on lockdown this morning after an argument between people in 2 cars.
Yeah, one of the drivers ultimately crashed into a nearby apartment complex. WRAL's Carly Haynes explains what we know.
In this front yard, there's still the stop sign from the road, and then just a few feet away, these tire marks. We know that these 2 apartment units are condemned and that the people who crashed into this building were the same ones who led to that soft lockdown earlier in the day.
Yeah, airbags definitely went off.
A car towed away from a Scarborough apartment building. Broadcastify captures what responders saw around 10 this morning.
Murphy's collision versus a house.
One vehicle off the roadway under the porch of an apartment. Out investigating.
Amitiel Malum heard it outside her window.
It was terrifying, honestly. I had actually been preparing to go take my laundry out, which is the laundry room is right behind it. If I had walked out when I did, I probably would have died.
This crash is the result of a fight between people in two cars on Smith Level Road. Scarborough police say the people in the cars knew one another. A driver sped off, then lost control and ended up here.
There needs to be a little bit more like road safety in this area. There's schools around here and people need to be driving a little bit more cautiously.
Police found a knife on scene. To be safe from possible armed suspects, Scarborough High, Colbreth Middle, and Frank Porter Graham Elementary locked outside doors but continued classes. Sky 5 spotted police at the front entrance. The soft lockdown lasted an hour, though two tenants are still out of a home this evening.
People need to be more aware of what they're doing when they're on the road.
Now, initially, officers thought a gun was involved, but later discovered it was actually a knife. No charges yet, but police say if they do file charges, it'll likely surround traffic violations. Carly Haynes, WRAL News, Scarborough.
Some major grant money coming to people in North Carolina still trying to recover from Tropical Storm Helene. Brett Neese is in the live center with the details. Brett.
Yeah, Gerald, this is $1.65 billion that Governor Josh Stein announced today alongside of HUD in a ceremony that happened out there in Western North Carolina. You can see this picture there from his press office, and $1.65 billion with a B dollars going to those communities out there in Asheville and the surrounding counties that were just devastated by Helene, of course, a few months ago. And then Stein also today announced his sixth executive order already to address Helene relief efforts. He waived federal limits on the amount of time drivers of trucks transporting propane or essential heating fuels to Western North Carolina can be on the road. Of course, we know that the recovery process is going to be lengthy, but this is much needed funds for that part of our state.
Brett, thank you. Tonight we have some new surveillance video showing the moments before a fire broke out at a downtown Raleigh bar. The video shows a person slowly leaving the porch of House of Art. The owners say a short time later, the video then shows smoke and flames engulfing that building.
The question now is, how did it start? WRAL's Sean Gallagher joining us live from out in front of the bar with what firefighters are telling us. Sean?
Yeah, Gerald, the fire department can't definitively say whether this fire was set intentionally or accidentally, despite what that video may show. But one thing we know for certain is this fire destroyed this bar. Take a look at it right here behind me. You can see some of the plywood up and some charred remains here on the outside of this bar. And yes, it is defined as a bar, but for the people who frequent this place, it means much more to them. It's why the extended family of patrons are banding together to try to rebuild.
It does. It feels unreal in here. It feels unreal.
It is a lot different walking through these hollowed out hallways today for Anthony Williams.
Seeing it like this, man, is horrifying.
He calls House of Art a job, but it's way more than that.
This place is very special to me. Like, this is my home. This is my home. So.
It's been a long day for Williams, the first on the scene this morning to see what was left.
Man, it's bad. I don't want to do this on camera, but it's bad in there. It is darkness. What you see on the outside is what it looks like in there.
Darkness that's been a light in so many lives since opening. In only a few years, House of Art quickly became a favorite, recently hosting a festive Christmas-themed pop-up. Now, only charred remains of a merrier time.
This is heartbreaking. Like, this is wrapping paper. This is Christmas wrapping paper. And it just, oh, God.
A celebration of the season of giving, all taken away.
You know when something happens to you and you think back about all the times you took it for granted? Like, I never would have thought that I would come here and see this place like this.
Raleigh Fire says a crew returning from a call actually spotted the fire just after 3 a.m. No one was hurt, but years of memories gone forever.
you know, going out, or I don't know, I just can't imagine my post-grad experience without house art, honestly.
This wasn't just a watering hole for people like Jamari Cortez. He loves music, and this place was where he could meet like-minded creatives.
So I feel like it really allowed myself and a lot of other people to have a greater sense of community, especially it being pretty much like a home away from my home, since I'm from New York and I don't really have that many family ties or strong ties to North Carolina.
And it's this family that makes House of Art feel like a home.
Man, it really is about the people. You know, our team really makes this place in the community.
And that support continues to pour in. The owners of this place started a GoFundMe to try to offset any costs while they wait for insurance money to come in and try to get this place off the ground a lot sooner. It's already raised over $13,000 and it was already created this morning. So a lot of support for this place. And if you're so inclined, we have that link on our website at WRAL.com. Just look for this story. In downtown Raleigh, Sean Gallagher, WRAL News.
And that personal reflection shows you how important that place was.
So much damage.
All right, a digital threat with real-world consequences.
Coming up, how police say an online pizza order led to a lockdown at a Raleigh high school. And the social media platform officers say that same teenager responsible for the threat used to bully another young person. Keely?
And the deadline to sign up for Affordable Care Act health coverage is right around the corner, January 15th. We are teaming up with these folks to help make it easy for you. We'll explain it all just ahead.
Ahead for us, the big changes announced by Facebook parent company Meta that could affect what you see in your feed, plus the new federal investigation involving a feature on more than 2.5 million Tesla cars on Nightly News.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Health insurance is so critically important, and time is running out to sign up for the Affordable Care Act.
WRAL's Keely Arthur is standing by our phone lines as people are getting some critical help in making some of these decisions, and it's all for free. Keely.
The event is for free, and the whole point of this, as you said, is really to help demystify health insurance coverage and also help people find budget-friendly options. So far, 550 people have called in today. We want you to continue to call in. 855-733-3711 is the number that you should call. Maybe you've been laid off or you have a job that doesn't provide coverage. Whatever it is, make the call to these folks. They are with the NC Navigator Consortium. They are going to give you free, unbiased help. They can help you with eligibility requirements, choosing the right plan based on your needs and budget. Now, the deadline, as we said, for Affordable Care Act coverage is in about a week, January 15th. So don't hesitate to call. It will be worth it. 80% of enrollees will actually pay less than $10 a month in premiums. Now, the phone lines are a little busy, so if you don't get through, leave a voicemail. I promise you, these folks will call you back, and then they're going to get you set up for an appointment to help get all of your health coverage needs met.
All right, very important. Thank you, Keely.
New at 6, police say a teenager ordered a pizza online and said there was an active shooter at Athens High School on the order form.
The warrants claim that same teenager threatened a young person in Raleigh on the social media platform Discord.
WRAL's Chelsea Donovan explains how online threats had some real-world consequences.
In September, Raleigh police received a report of an active shooter at Athens Drive High School, and they found the threat, according to a new search warrant, was reported by a Domino's delivery driver. The threat that had been sent in as a pizza delivery order to the school read, "There is a shooter, help." Luckily, it was a false report, a swatting call, and police found that the threat was made through an app called Discord, which is an online gaming platform. It was one of just several swatting calls that RPD started investigating, and it all started back in July. A juvenile in Raleigh was unwillingly added to a group chat on Discord, and once in the group chat, a person with the display name of Krill threatened to dox or swat the juvenile if he didn't film himself carving the name Krill into his skin with a knife. The young man didn't comply, and days later, on July 12th, a Raleigh police officer responded to the home of the same person after another online pizza order submitted to the local Pizza Hut contained the message, "Help, he has a gun, send help." His parent told officers that someone their child met on Discord was harassing him online. 6 days later, another swatting call. Raleigh police were called to the same home after a second false report of violence was made to a crisis center in Elgin, Illinois, through Discord. A few months later, in October, the mother of the victim told RPD that her son was on Discord again and was being harassed by the same account. A screenshot was found from the user Krill that was a link to an article of a school being shut down due to a threat. And he told the juvenile, "We can get your school shut down too."
Experts say it's always important to have an open conversation with your child about what they're doing online. You can also set parental locks and also institute screen time. Chelsea Donovan, WRAL News, Raleigh.
That time to bundle up. We're ready to plunge into a deep freeze as you look live at downtown Cary Park, the WRAL Live Cam Network. That fountain right there tomorrow morning or this time tomorrow is going to be frozen.
Yeah, you can see the sun has now gone down, and that means it's just going to keep dropping. In the temperature department, let's go to Mike Mays in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Mike.
At least 15 hours at or below freezing across the area. Probably a few hours more in some of the colder rural locations. It's a hard freeze tonight. Out at RDU right now, it's 37, where we're calling for 36. So we came really close. 30 by 8 o'clock, and then through the night, temperatures will continue to fall. By 6, we're down to 21. That's our forecast low here in the Triangle. Not expected to get above freezing until after 10 a.m. So we have many hours where we're well below freezing. Make sure the pets have a warm place to be, and check on your elderly friends, neighbors, make sure they have enough heat tonight. It is going to be mighty cold, and we have many more mornings ahead that are going to be like this, with 17 Roxborough, 19 at Rocky Mount. Some of the colder rural areas in Moore County and Lee County could be down to 15. The winds will be lighter tonight. There'll be a brief round of clouds this evening, then it should be clear by daybreak. We're sitting at 37 right now at RDU. These are the upper level clouds that'll be with us at least through about 10 o'clock, and then it'll be completely clear overnight. And temperatures across the region range from 32 at South Hill and Roxborough, 34 at Southern Pines, 38 Fayetteville, 35 right now in Goldsboro. So our winter weather event still on schedule from what I've looked at this afternoon. Timing still looks to be Friday night into Saturday morning. The America model starts the snow a little early into the afternoon, and if that's the case, it could be a little bit more dicey with the commute. We'll know more when we get high-resolution model data tomorrow and Thursday. Both the American model and the European model show a wintry mix, starting as snow, changing to sleet, ending as rain, and the models have really backed off by amount of moisture. The liquid equivalent's only about 0.2 of an inch on the European. The American model 0.3. That still has time to change, but it's down from 1.2 inches of liquid from the American model yesterday. So if this actually pans out, wouldn't be a whole lot of frozen precipitation, and we're limited on the cold air. We're not going to plunge down into a deep freeze with this event. Temperatures will probably hover around freezing through the entire event. So what falls will eventually melt once this slows down and stops later in the afternoon on Saturday. So we're looking at about a 65% chance, at least an inch of snow here accumulating in Raleigh, 79% chance in Roxborough, lesser percentage down to the south. If you're looking for 3 inches of snow, not really likely across the area, only about a 35% chance up in our northern counties. So we're in a deep freeze tonight and many more mornings to come. 20 on Thursday morning, 20 on Friday morning, only about 31 on Saturday morning. So again, what falls as frozen sleet and snow would probably not be a huge issue on the roads. If it fell down well into the 20s, it would. And then later on in Saturday afternoon with sunshine coming out, 43. So whatever would be on the ground in the morning would be gone in the afternoon, and then maybe getting up to near 50 by Monday.
A lot to keep watching. Thanks, Mike.
Chris is here with sports, some old familiar faces on the ice.
Absolutely. One of the things I love about the Carolina Hurricanes is that they're a big family, no matter if you play there now or if you played there in the past. Coming up next in sports, Pat Welter will preview the alumni game that's happening and how the Canes are preparing for it and all the guys who are coming back together. That's next in sports. Welcome to sports. Eric Stahl will become the 6th member of the Carolina Hurricanes to join their Ring of Honor and also the 4th to have his jersey retired. Pat Welter explains why the alumni game is a good reason for all the boys to get back together.
Once a Cane, always a Cane, even if you aren't playing your old position.
You know, I think I've only put on the goal equipment 3 times since I retired 6 years ago. So the knees and back and hips don't really cooperate like they used to.
Good patience, Wardo! Cam Ward among the former players on the ice practicing for the alumni game versus NC State.
You know, us older guys might not have the conditioning like they do, but nonetheless, we'll have fun and make the most of it.
Oh, he's got to get that. So is Justin Williams.
I'm sure everybody has friends back home that maybe they went to high school with or they shared good experiences with that they haven't quite seen in a while. And then you see them and they kind of pick right back up where you left off. And that's kind of the way it is in our dressing room right now.
It's all part of Eric Stahl's weekend, the former captain being inducted into the Canes Hall of Fame and having his jersey retired Sunday.
It'll be a great moment for him and his family, absolutely, and one that we should remember.
Justin Williams inducted into the Canes Hall of Fame last year. I asked him what he remembered most about it, and he said not being able to keep it together. He said it was emotional for him, and he's sure it'll be emotional for Eric as well. Pat Welter, WRAL Sports, Morrisville.
The Bill Belichick recruiting tour continues locally. Yesterday, he visited Rolesville, South Garner, and also Jordan High Schools. Today, he's in Charlotte as he visited Providence Day and Weddington High Schools as he's looking to build out his rosters for the next few years. Hey, let's talk about the Duke Blue Devils. They're back in town tonight, and they're hosting Pitt tonight as the number 4 Duke Blue Devils look to stay undefeated in conference play. Although Duke is the only ranked team, don't look over Pitt. They're currently 3-0 in ACC play, and they're considered a possible tournament team. This game tips off at 7 o'clock. And also at 9 o'clock, UNC will tip off versus SMU. Of course, Duke just beat SMU pretty badly. Hopefully Carolina can get back in the win column as they did right there off of that shot from this past weekend.
Yeah,
they need a win badly. Thanks, Chris.
NBC Nightly News is coming up next.